Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, we've been, it's been a little while.
It has.
A month, I think, and I apologize for that.
But we have a new setup now where we're kind of plugged into this different RØDECaster setup, and we have the video feed going in like we're doing a live news broadcast sort of.
It's kind of new.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
And we'll see how flexible it is in terms of editing. I think we can still
we're going to
fuck with it.
Endeavor to have a quicker turnaround with these things because right now, again, we're doing this in between other things and life gets in the way, you know, because
also I got to say,
things are going on.
Shout out to Rode. They are all of our shit is RØDECaster.
Yeah, we're big roadies.
We are. So Rode, please be our friend.
Speaking of Rode,
how about just some swag?
Yeah, well,
we'll rock some Rode.
We'll shout you guys out, Rode.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of Rode, we're going on the road next week.
We're going on the road.
We're going to be going to Arizona for spring training for the Dodgers,
which could, I think, be, you know,
we're gonna
for sure incorporate it into our next pod.
We're definitely going to bring some gear with us. Maybe not the whole setup, but definitely we'll be rolling on, you know, the iPhone and maybe a couple
bring
little
our
things.
Maybe our nicer cameras.
Yeah, we'll document the trip so that we can at least bring it back to the studio and talk about it.
Yeah.
Which will be fun. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this new setup. It's really nice. It's funny because we went from, you know, when did we start this? Less than a year ago, March of last year.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
I keep looking at the frame. It's
no, and I do like serious shout out. This is a new device. It's the RØDECaster Video S, which is their smaller version, but it's like literally designed for what we do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You found it.
I did.
You definitely, if anyone has any apprehensions or what's the word? Misconceptions about how this pod is run, I'm actually not really I'm not the technical one. It's actually Al. I'm sort of just the talent. They kind of, you know,
first team.
First team.
And I do that just reluctantly. Just enough to get us in trouble and get us up in the air. So,
well, you know, you are a little too modest, a little too humble because you do a lot. So, I mean, I run the YouTube and whatnot.
Yeah.
Not that we're getting a lot of comments or anything.
We're getting way more people listening. So,
yeah, we have.
But I also
a dedicated audience.
Updated for any of you people who listen on like Apple and Spotify, they are going to start hosting video. So we'll probably end up posting the whole thing up there now.
Yeah.
And you can either listen or watch.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
just, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people probably are just pressing play and then have it open and do other things. That's how I listen to podcasts.
People who are talking to me.
If you ever wanted to see what we look like, we have that option for you.
We do.
But yeah, today's kind of a grab bag episode. We didn't really come in with any pre-planned topics. I have some things I want to talk about. And so do you.
Wanted to talk. We both have just finished watching Wonder Man.
Yeah, I guess we could lead with that.
We should lead.
Yeah, it was fun.
It is fun.
I definitely suffer from the same superhero fatigue that most of the world does, I'm sure, with Marvel. I never was like a diehard Marvel MCU stan by any means.
A little bit of superhero goes a long way for me.
Yeah.
I agree. But I was pleasantly surprised by what that show is.
Well, clearly it's a response to sort of the fact that, you know, Marvel has monopolized movie entertainment for the past, whatever, I don't know, what?
Yeah.
10, I mean, when did Iron Man come out?
Well,
2008?
But also it's been a few years since Avengers,
20 years.
Which was their last big feature. It's been like 4 years.
Yeah, but you know, they got the new one coming out this year with Robert Downey's coming back as Dr. Doom. So I think
I think they were trying to humanize it a little bit though. And it's a really character-driven 8 episodes. It's not a long Disney Plus. It's good. It's really worth
good.
Watching.
It's well written. I mean, obviously
Kingsley.
they had a clear tone of voice, which I think a lot of the other shows lack. And maybe now they're learning that like this whole sort of, you know, every iteration of the content they do having to feather into the next thing is actually not the greatest strategy, because it was starting to feel like you had to have watched like the Hawkeye Disney Plus show to understand what happened in Ant-Man, and you had to have watched Ant-Man to understand what happened. It's like sometimes you just want to come to these things cold.
Just go to
and
a movie.
Yeah,
or
even
see a show.
even with this, it's like there's this whole callback to the Ben Kingsley guy being this character from Iron Man 3, which
but you don't need to know.
you don't really need to have seen Iron Man 3. So it's like, I think they're kind of finally learning, like, if you untether these, properties a little bit from the sort of like sequence of events that have preceded it and stop doing this game of like, well, you remember in Avengers Endgame how it's like, we don't, that shouldn't prevent you from enjoying a thing. Agreed. So yeah, they clearly saw this as a bit of a one-off and also like a tonal shift for them. They put it under their like Marvel spotlight,
which is kind of their.
Yeah.
How did the New York Times?
I mean, it's like the Fox Searchlight.
They said
like
it's
Marvel,
sort of like the A24 of the Marvel universe. Their version
which
of
is
that.
Kind of bullshit.
But I know what they mean. It's like they're not going to try to.
Well, listen, the reason it works though is yes, the writing's good, but like, the actors are so good.
Yeah, it's a really
and I want to pronounce this guy's name correctly because it is a long name.
Our lead is wonderful, and
he's fucking sick.
Co-stars Ben Kingsley.
He was in Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen reboot. Remember?
Yes,
the one that the Damon Lindelof one in the early 2010 or maybe.
But he's a really talented actor, and there's some
he's great.
It's got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it appealed to me, especially the way things are in the world right now.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
Very good.
Yahya.
Yahya?
It's Yahya. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Ben Kingsley, Josh Gad,
Joey Panel,
Zlatko Buric from...
yes, Josh Gad's
the fucking Eastern European guy from Triangle of Sadness.
Yep.
Yeah, Arian Moayed from Succession. It's a good, it's pretty good cast. And then you have this like one-off bottle episode, which is pretty funny with Byron Bowers, the doorman clause thing. So they got very creative with it. It's like I was reading somewhere they said that their tone of voice with it was trying to sort of like channel like an FX, like what would FX do if they did a Marvel show? That was like their North Star in the writer's room.
I would say it's light on the superhero stuff and heavier on the character stuff.
It feels like Barry. It's like Barry meets a Marvel show. Yeah.
And really good LA locations, which we always love.
Yeah.
It doesn't just look like they're shooting around the lot somewhere in Burbank. It's features a lot of LA stuff.
They squeeze in some weird cameos. This kid Brandon Wardell is in it, who is like a stand-up comic, and he has a podcast. He's in that episode where he's the kid with the GoPro that records him when he has a thing.
Yeah.
It feels like funny and offbeat in the right ways, and obviously it's Marvel, so like I think they in a way almost have like, I feel some sort of karmic debt for all the popcorn flicks that they've done to at least offset it with some more of this stuff. Like it stands out because the bulk of what they do is so uniform and homogenous. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's entertaining, and that's.
I
don't want to give the impression that it's, not a really fun watch.
No, it's really well written. But I'm saying like, this shouldn't be an outlier. Like they should do more shit like this.
And I think the bigger tentpole movies need more of these kind of elements to make them more watchable. You need to have people to, root for and get involved with as an audience, characters that you like or despise, but
absolutely
stronger drawn characters, not cliches.
Well, they're very likable too.
Family is important in this episode or in the series.
Yahya and Ben are like the heart of the show, and I think the two of them together and their bromance really makes it work. It feels a lot like Bill Hader and Henry Winkler and Barry. You have these kind of lovable, like Henry Winkler's the lovable sap, the older actor is teaching the class. Ben Kingsley's very much filling that role in this. So it's like, yes, everything's been done before. They're stealing from pieces of things, but it is really unique, and it feels like it has a tone of voice that is original, especially in the Marvel space.
I'm glad you liked it because, when I recommend something like that. And if
I don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest with you. I just don't understand it.
I can't. How to turn it on?
What is it? How do you go to it?
What is it?
How do you find it?
How do things come
Where
out
is
of
it?
it?
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
I don't know how to use it. It was a cute watch. They're 30-minute episobes. It's very like.
Yeah, I think the longest they maybe brush up against 39 minutes.
The doorman one is the best. I think that if any, I mean, obviously, it's meaningless unless you watch it in the context of the larger show
Yes.
because of what the role it fills. But it is this like bottle episode that's
And
really
it was
funny.
kind of a ballsy. I mean, they took a whole
Yeah, yeah.
episode
In
and
black
kind of went
and white.
sideways
Yeah.
to explain
Yeah.
a story point that does affect
think
our
it's-
characters.
I think
but
it's
it was
funny.
really, I thought that was a bold
It's
choice.
clever. It was I was the whole time I was like, okay, clever. This is clever. This
Yeah.
is a creative way to do it. Yeah. So on the one hand, we've both been watching Wonderland lately.
Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. Jesus, is my mic blowing out? By the way, am I talking too loud, or is
I
it
think
just
you
a
sound-
leveling on
Could
here?
be your headphone level.
Probably.
I can turn it down. Would you like me to turn it down?
No, it's okay. I'll just try to
right there.
not shout.
I could fix that.
No, it's okay.
All right.
I had a flow going. Sorry.
Well, okay. It wasn't the only thing we were going to talk about.
Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
Yes,
But it
check
was
it out
a
if you
thing.
haven't seen it
So,
already.
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Little app.
Marvel.
Give it some love. It does it. It's the little engine that could. It's called Disney
sure.
Plus. Check it out.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that within that, then they've got a Marvel.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's not that hard to find.
I'm just joking, by the way. It's not. It's Disney, so they're they're a conglomerate. They're fine. You don't need to check them out. They're not like
I
the
think
little
they're
engine
okay.
that could.
Yeah. But the show's a little engine.
Although shame on them for this OpenAI deal. That's pretty stupid. I can't imagine anybody actually seeking out AI slop of like a stormtrooper holding Pikachu or
Have
whatever.
you looked at any of the AI slop that people make?
Yeah, and I'm confused as to why they made a deal with Sora to do Disney IP on Disney Plus, like verticals of like stormtroopers dancing with Grogu.
I'm confused about all of it, frankly.
On the one hand, we got
so funny because we started like talking about AI.
Yeah, I hate it
kind
now.
of completely differently. Yeah.
Not
that we
that I never
loved it,
liked it. I was never a
but
booster.
it's
I was
become
never
a
a
different
booster.
thing.
Let's
No,
get
no,
that clear. I was never a booster.
No.
I was always skeptical, but I waded into those waters with a bit of optimism, and now I'm just seeing. I think the whole thing's about to collapse and burst. I was reading the other day, like none of these companies are turning a profit. None of them have made any money yet. It's just burning money on the hopes that, I mean, obviously ChatGPT has become embedded in a lot of people's lives, but
they're hooking their wagon to this AI assistant concept being the
Right.
one that's going to turn a profit. Because
Yeah.
But I read a really interesting article in the New Yorker on the way. We just got back from Florida. We went to a second reception for our son's wedding.
Mhm.
Anyways, on the flight there was a big, long, in-depth article about how Anthropic has a whole department that's just trying to figure out how it works because they don't really know.
yeah,
They were literally reverse engineering how these things come up with stuff, and they can isolate it in a vacuum and study it when they can feed fake scenarios and seeing how it connects the dots. And that both fascinated and frightened me in that they don't understand really how it
yeah.
spits stuff out. So
That's
kind of chilling.
yeah. Give some.
Check it out in the latest New Yorker.
I think you got your notifications
It
on.
wasn't me.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, on the computer maybe. I could turn
Come on,
the
turn
volume
your-
off. Yeah.
Just quickly.
There's a mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So you were.
we don't need
is
to talk
this
about AI
Sirât,
this
right?
episode, though. Yeah, let's not get into AI.
No, I
it's
don't want
just it's kind of cooked, the whole thing. Yeah.
raining
so
here.
it is raining here. I'm gonna have a little
So
coffee.
It does happen in California.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that a Carpenter song? Never
It wasn't the
rains in
Carpenters,
Southern
but it never rains
California.
but man, it pours.
Who did
That's
that?
the lyric. I can't remember.
Albert Hammond,
No,
Senior.
I don't.
I think it is Albert
Wasn't
Hammond,
Albert
Senior.
Hammond in charge of Jurassic Park? No,
John Hammond.
John Hammond.
Mhm. Albert was his friend.
I don't
son.
know.
Yes. Are they in the same universe? No, I was going to say something very different in terms of content we've watched. Fuck that word. In terms of things we've watched lately.
It is all content now.
Oh, no, it's not.
Excuse me.
Oh, Sirât.
Sirât. Yeah.
If anyone is curious to see something in theaters, because right now it's actually only playing in theaters to my knowledge, and it's getting a very limited release from Neon, the company behind such Oscar
Smash
season
hits
hits as Zenora and Sentimental Value and
Ooh,
Parasite.
sentimental value. We could talk about that too.
Yeah, it's good. Good.
Yeah.
But I really
Liked it quite a
think
bit.
Sirât is wow. Like I knew it was buzzed about, and it was actually at Cannes last year while I was there. But I mean, again, it was a hot ticket, and yeah, you know, for the duration I was there, it just wasn't like, I don't think I would have been able to even get a seat to go see this thing. But it's directed by this guy, Oliver Laxe, who's Galician. So he's like French and Spanish. He's like in this region, sort of like Basque country almost, I think. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm not getting that wrong, because I don't want to miss, you know, place him geographically. But yeah, he's European, and he's been to the Cannes Festival a lot with a lot of other films. And this is kind of marks a new direction for him, because it's his first sort of like more narrative driven film. He's in a lot of very art house stuff that's very impressionistic and like very little dialogue. And I'd heard of him, but I never really took the time to check him out until this movie came out, and I kept hearing so much buzz about it last year. Neon picked it up for U.S. distribution. Now it's nominated for 2 Oscars. And
I think that and The Secret Agent, right, are the 2 kind of front runners for best foreign film Oscar.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm not really keeping tabs.
I have to catch up on both of those. They're on my short list, and the awards are coming up, so I got to see
I've heard The Secret Agent's good. I want to see it. But yeah, Sirât just blew me out of the water. It's really incredible. I almost don't want to say too much, because I think part of the fun of watching the movie is going in cold, and it is a experience. It's like it's ostensibly about a father and son looking for his missing daughter and
what's the George
son's
C.
sister.
Scott movie where he ends up looking for his
Hardcore,
daughter?
the Paul Schrader one?
Yeah.
When she goes into porn?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very pulpy. Yeah, it's
but
good.
I mean, it's similar plot line, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he watched Hardcore. But no, this is like just in another dimension of like, I would put it in league more with like Wages of Fear, you know, the one where they're moving the trucks with the dynamite.
Yeah. Which was remade as Sorcerer.
Which also really good. William Friedkin.
But
no, it's amazing.
The original's that's one.
Yeah, they're both good. I think they could stand on their own 2 feet. The 2 of them, they can exist together. But well, yeah, just to get through the Sirât sort of pitch here, go see it. It's incredible. The soundtrack's amazing. Again, it's ostensibly about this father looking for his daughter amidst sort of like raver, gabber culture in northern Africa. There's like these raves happening in Morocco.
Aren't they sort of like nomadic raves too? That
are I think they're like, you know, sort of in the true essence of like kind of original ravers, where they're just setting up, they're like camping and setting up homemade speakers and sound systems and traveling like nomads. But in the midst of that, there's also this global conflict happening off camera, and you get the sense that like the world is falling apart and military is intervening. Yeah, it's not too far from the reality that not too far from the reality that we live in. But yeah, again, I don't want to give too much of a pitch to this, because even putting it into words like this, I think diminishes the power of the movie, which is really. And I haven't felt this way in a long time. Ben, you know, being in a theater, watching something and feeling that kind of what the fuck excitement of like watching the movie change, and you're going deeper into something that you had no expectations of it going there. It's like it really does transform and evolve and kind of devolve in this really beautiful way. And you know, I think the last time I'd felt something like that was probably, and I'm not, you know, this might sound like hyperbole. It's not. It's like probably like the first time I saw like a Lynch movie or something, where you're just, you're taken into this world and it gets so dark and it becomes so complex.
Like Blue Velvet.
But you just sort of give yourself into this experience and you let yourself be taken on this journey. I mean, I would just say go in with an open mind. It gets intense, but it's ultimately like a very life-affirming, beautiful film. And I just I've seen it twice already, and I really can't sing its praises enough. I think it's just of the movies that were like whatever top of the heap last year that are in the conversation, you know, whatever the fuck that means. Because like ultimately it's things that'll be remembered in 10, 15 years are what win, right? It doesn't matter what gets nominated. It's just what has a shelf life culturally and psychologically, I think. This definitely will have that. I mean, it's already like seeped into my mind in a way where like I had dreams about it after I watched it, and I was reading more about the director, and Oliver Laxe, you know, conceived of the film while going to raves with his ex-girlfriend, and said that a lot of the story of the film is secondary to sort of images that almost came out of his subconscious, which again reminds me very much of the way Lynch works and being very attentive to the part of yourself and the part of your soul that is pre-verbal, you know, that's just sort of images and feelings. And, you know, I don't think, again, I haven't seen a filmmaker channel that so effectively into a...
Cave paintings.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
No,
it's
I mean,
like
a 2-hour experience, yeah.
That storytelling element at its basics.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really inspired me. I was like floored. I went and saw it with Luna. Shout out to Luna. We both had high expectations knowing that it was set in rave culture and featured this really cool score by this French DJ. And so like, obviously the music was going to be incredible, which it was, but the movie also delivered on such a high level that, yeah, I'm like, why aren't more people talking about this? It's so fucking good.
I wonder if I got 2 DVDs and they were both, one of them was Sentimental Value and I think the other one might be Sirât. So
and I like Sentimental Value too. It's a very, I would say like handsomely shot, classy film. It feels like a nice glass of Beaujolais wine or something.
It's also,
you're
you know,
just
it's
like,
I don't want to say a redemption story of a father and daughter.
Yeah.
But it's much more complex than that and not as clean, but it deals with family in a very adult way. It's good.
Well, yeah, and being in the industry and having the sort of multi-generational.
Definitely a movie about a movie maker that you don't have to have any.
Yeah. I was talking with Claire and
knowledge
she had some gripes with it just because it's like another movie about movies.
But it isn't really, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think ultimately that's
job.
just the background to a family dynamic that is universal. And Stellan Skarsgård is excellent. I think that best supporting actor race is pretty stacked right now with Delroy Lindo, Stellan Skarsgård, Sean Penn, and I'm forgetting whoever's in the fifth.
It's a good,
but it's, I mean, all like, if any one of them win, I'm like, yeah, they deserve it, you know? But yeah, I love Sirât.
You know the answer. You know the answer to this because I couldn't remember the other day. Is Jesse Plemons nominated?
No.
For an Oscar?
Yeah, I don't think he is. I thought he was too, and then
Begonia was one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, it was really good. I didn't like where it went at the end with the kind of twist
I like
of
that
it.
they went for it. I thought that was, why not?
Yeah. My thing with Yorgos now is I love his filmmaking. I like that he keeps it weird. And obviously he's had quite a career and he's blossomed in a really incredible way. And I wish him all the success.
He's a great voice to have.
He is, but
movies.
I feel sometimes, and this happened with Wes Anderson too, where, and it's not, I mean, again, you almost can't fault these guys. It's like they get to a certain level of success and they have the budget and the latitude and the resources to kind of go as weird as possible, which isn't always
But I didn't
correct.
See, I have to push back on that a little bit. I didn't feel like he went as weird with this.
Well, sorry, I should use a better adjective. Not weird, but aesthetic, where the end becomes this thing in which, sorry, we're going to spoil it. The whole movie is this kind of guessing game of like, is she an alien? Is she not? Jesse Plemons thinks that she's part of this alien race of people that are controlling the planet, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, the whole time you think he's a maniac and she's actually just this woman.
If you're
Spoiler alert. Turns out she is. There's this third act, 11th hour reveal that she actually is an alien. She beams back up to her ship. All the shit that Jesse Plemons was saying the whole movie is true.
But it's a complete flip-flop.
But the way they do the ship thing with the stupid fluffy costumes and the way it's shot with these macro,
it was just so bizarre.
I just think he's done so much fashion editorial and commercial work now that element of his filmmaking sits a little too uncomfortably close to the Greek absurdist part of him, which is the core of who he is and dates back to the earliest films. You know what I mean? So I say that more as a PSA of like, I just think it's very easy to get lost in the sauce when you get to that point. And like, yeah, you're going and doing a Squarespace commercial and you have just pure aesthetic to play with. Like, it should always come back to story. And I do think sometimes like the best scenes in those movies, in that movie specifically to me, was the basement stuff where they're arguing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most of the movie.
It is.
It's the debate.
It's just when he indulges I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I just feel like a little restraint. Yeah, because
there's two ways that could go, and I thought,
yeah.
why not go in the unusual way? I didn't have a problem with it, but I hear what you're saying.
It's a little too twee sometimes, a little too cute. The costuming,
on the, hand,
the production design.
If they'd done it more straight, would that have made it not so?
I don't know.
There was something absurd about it.
Yeah.
And it was like, of course.
Maybe I'm just in such a Sirât mindset right now because seeing that movie, I was like...
Which was a much grittier and
darker. And it gave me a newfound respect, too. It's like, this filmmaker, Oliver Laxe, is, I watched 2 of his other movies now because Luna and I went back. We were, like, obsessed after watching this. So we watched this movie, Fire Will Come, about an arsonist who returns home to his home village, and he had set a fire years prior and served time for it. And then this movie Mimosas, and they're both very kind of like little dialogue, very, very big premium on images and mood and atmosphere, which is cool. But Sirât is definitely the most accessible movie he's done yet because at least has like a thread that pulls you through. But I was going to say his filmmaking is so interesting because it's so prominent in my head right now. So obviously I'm going to sound like a fanboy, but like he really does reaffirm.
I just light a match and Danny talks. Sirât,
Sorry.
He goes.
Sorry. I'll stop. He's so good though at just doing, the economy of visual language. Like why use 2 shots where you could use one?
Well, that's right up my alley.
And as editors, we obviously have a deep respect for that. And I think that's where I come from with my Yorgos gripe because it's kind of an extension of that same argument in that like just because you have access to such and such fashion house to pull the archives and do this absurd opulent version of like the coda to the film doesn't mean you should. Sure, it looks great, and don't get me wrong, love the guy. I think he should still keep making films, but I think I'm just like reorienting my own sort of credo about like what filmmaking should be. It's like, having guardrails, having constraints, and having a bit of like economy when it comes to how you're going to tell a scene, how you're going to bring people into a sequence has a lot of power. There's like rave sequences in this film where, any other filmmaker would be like, let's get the techno crane, let's show the crowd, we're going to do all this stuff. And he's very deliberate. He'll just show like one wide shot and then you're in on a body and you're watching something close up. It's like very, very specific imagery he's guiding you through. And I think that specificity,
more like point of view. Like when you're in the middle of a thing like that, you're not seeing all of that. You're
exactly
in a 4-foot circle.
100%.
And that's choosing to tell the story that way. And I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, it sounds like that's what you're describing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I guess it is POV.
Yeah. Which is really important if you're consistent.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's.
Well, I definitely will see it.
Instinct.
Then before I do another pod with you, I will have that in mind.
I mean, like, it just really, it reminds me that, like, you just got to be, like, ballsy filmmaking. And I say that, like, in the proverbial sense.
I like it. I like having a little, but I don't want everybody to make that movie then.
No. I'm just saying, like, there's
you got to
maybe I'm under the spell too much of this movie. I really love it.
Well, clearly, this is somebody who working for a smaller company, too. And with some cred was let alone to make the movie that he wanted to make. And there's something to be said for that.
I think he
a
had
camel
to fight.
is a horse made by committee.
True.
Which is the fate of so many big studio pictures.
That's true. That's a good.
They're just diluted.
Yeah.
Too many voices.
Interesting tidbit about camels. There was something I read recently about the Naval Weapons Ordnance Station out in Ridgecrest, which is like where they tested a lot of the detonation devices before Los Alamos. And they called that department, when it was built, the Camel Committee or something, because camels, when they get their nose into something, won't stop sniffing. And so the idea was that, you put a bunch of bright scientific minds on something, they're going to solve it. So they're called like the Camel Committee. That's just off of you talking about a camel. Okay. Sick.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is cool though.
I
didn't know that.
I don't know why I brought that up. Yeah.
I do know apparently they're not very friendly.
Camels bite.
They spit.
That's what I heard. They're kind of cute though.
Yeah, they are.
I've never seen one.
You never been to the zoo?
Do they have them?
They do.
In LA?
I think you've seen one. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. When did you take me? When I was a kid?
Yeah, we went to the zoo.
Oh.
We went to the Santa Barbara Zoo, the LA Zoo.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of weird LA things,
yeah.
This is a complete non sequitur, but there, over at Griffith Park, near where Travel Town is, where all the trains and stuff are,
Yeah.
there's the original old LA Zoo, and part of it is still there.
Oh, you can do
Gotta go.
hiking trail up there. You can see some of the old enclosures and stuff.
Which I'm sure were inhumane as all you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, they were like I
an
think some of
elephant
them
in a room
were
like this,
carved into the rock face,
which
sheer
is why I think it's
rock
still
face
there.
of the walls. Yeah. Yeah. I've actually read, there's a lot of like subreddits about weird LA hikes and debris from another one that, this is funny. Yeah. Actually, we could just kind of go on a tangent here and maybe this becomes the rest of the episode. There's also, there's also you might know about this because I think it's over on the west side or maybe in Topanga Canyon. Anyway, there was a ranch that a family built in the 40s that was rumored to have been a bunker hideout for Nazis during World War II. Did you ever hear about this?
Why would I know
on the west side?
That?
Well, no, just because it was like part of like, it was kind of, it's an urban legend, like LA lore. And I guess it's one of these things where the family related to the actual owners of this property have had to kind of like come out publicly. And I think one of these guys wrote a book because he's like, my family wasn't Nazis. This is like a persistent urban legend that has followed us. It's really offensive. Like, we need this to stop. And so he kind of wrote a book to clear the air. And I think in the book,
it probably makes it worse, right?
He actually admits that they weren't Nazis.
They were kind of Nazis.
But they had a man staying with them who was very sympathetic and was a sociopath who was a spiritual healer. And I guess his father worked at Caltech and was involved in rocket science and had quite a lot of money, I think, from his family. And so the spiritual healer,
not somewhere out here, is it, in Pasadena?
No, this is on the, but I know you're thinking about, because there was that other guy who was the satanic dude
in Temescal Canyon that's near Pali that was some kind of a retreat, but I don't know if that, I don't think that's it. We'll have to figure out what
it's not that
what you're thinking of, but
if Jack Parsons is the guy you're thinking of, and he was at JPL, one of the founders of JPL, and lived in Pasadena, and was also a follower of this like weird satanic cult. And they would hold they would hold like seance sort of things in this place called the Devil's Gate, which is a culvert like reservoir wash that's actually pretty close to here in old Pasadena. People still will go to it and do like sort of, if you Google it, go on YouTube, people do like, haunted tours of Devil's Gate. That's apparently where Jack Parsons and Aleister Crowley, who was this British mysticist in the 30s and 40s, they would go there and have these like devil worship ceremonies, because Jack Parsons was a scientist, but also really bizarre guy. Remember, we looked him up once and we're like, how has this not been made into a
it's a weird
movie?
Story, and I forget why
they
we
did
lost
do a
that
series produced by Ridley
thread.
Scott and starring some British guy called like Strange Angel or something like that. But
I think it was in the wake of Oppenheimer, because we were reading about all the
Yeah.
JPL people, and I think that's when we.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's fascinating. That movie had too much story to tell, so they couldn't have possibly focused on this element of it. But it does feel that world of the government dipping into collaborations with cutting edge scientists and immigrants to this country. It's like a lot of them had very left political beliefs. A lot of them also had very weird satanic cult worship beliefs. So it's like, they've made the strange bedfellows, I think, the U.S. government and some of the staff.
A lot of German scientists helped our rocket program.
Exactly. Yeah.
They were Nazis, and they all kind of
invited
got to slip
them
away
back
and live their lives.
100%.
I know, it's interesting. I think after we saw Oppenheimer, because we've only been living here now in Pasadena, not that I never came out here, but since 2023, I guess, 3 years. But, the more I drive around, it's like, there's all these R&D places and research. And then I went, that's because Caltech is here. And I mean, it's all out here. The Brain Trust is all out here.
The Brain Trust. Yeah, it's true. But anyway, Devil's Gate is a very strange piece of LA lore. There's also one up the street from here that we want to check out that I sent to you. And that is called, what is it called, Dad? Because it was a piece of property that we
we were debating this morning. We went and hit golf balls in the rain about if we completely talked about Sierra Madre, but I believe we did.
Oh, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
Our Lonely of the Brave episode had a lot of
Marx Brothers property past 15. Cobb Estate. The Cobb Estate.
the Cobb estate.
The Cobb Estate was a supposedly haunted estate owned by the Cobb family up in Altadena, and it's now a parkland that in the 70s,
Oh, it's right up
the
the
city,
street from
it
me
went to the city. It's public land. And briefly, the Marx Brothers had tried to buy this place, I think. It was notorious for parties in the 20s and 30s. Now it's supposedly the nexus of a lot of supernatural activity. And so, similar to Hell's Gate, you can Google the Cobb Estate, and you find just a plethora of links about people, ghost sightings and chupacabra sightings. It's up right against the hills in Altadena, like kind of close to
that's where
Eaton Canyon.
JPL is too, up in there.
So anyway, there's an interesting overlap in LA of these kind of like these sort of urban legends.
Wonder if one of those people lived in this house. Not this building,
a worshiper?
but, yeah.
Oh, well, this
is built in the 20s. This was not built in the
scary
20s.
thought. No. When was this built? This unit that we're in?
I think this was a garage.
Was it built for
Sort of
us?
An outbuilding. Yeah, it's built for us now. It's,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. What was I going to say? No, anyway, the thing I wanted to talk about was actually this estate that was they call it the Nazi bunker, and it was in Topanga, and it was actually not at all that. Nazi bunker, Los Angeles. Murphy's Ranch. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Abandoned Nazi camp in Santa Monica.
But it's not. It wasn't.
It's not.
Abandoned.
So there's this urban legend that has persisted. It was a ranch built by this couple who became sort of intertwined with this master manipulator, spiritual advisor, who was telling them that in order to, because he had said something.
Post World War II.
This is
or
in the middle of World War
II,
II, I think.
Okay.
Before American involvement, maybe. Late 30s, 40s.
There was a movement here.
Oh, for sure. I
unfortunately, in
mean,
the 30s.
they had a Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden, didn't they? In like the 30s or something? Yeah.
They did. A big
Crazy. I mean, we were making a lot of money from sending airplanes and arms to both sides for a while there. So,
one. Well, I know. Everybody's hands are a little
the narrative of like U.S. involvement in World War II is one of the funniest, not funny,
it's just
most
cracks me up.
distorted
I know.
things. Yeah. That reminds me of Phil Hartman's line in Small Soldiers when they're
Yes.
just watching TV, and he goes, "I think World War II is my favorite
My
war."
favorite war.
And it's just like the most throwaway line. He's
Phil
sitting
Hartman.
there. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Hey, R.I.P. Robert Duvall.
Yeah, wait,
Jesse
can I finish
Jackson's
this story?
It's been a big week. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, it has. Frederick Wiseman. Jesus Christ.
James Vanderbeek.
Was that last week?
Yeah, it was a
Jesus
week.
Christ.
I know.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah, it's a kind of jumbled history, but basically Murphy's Ranch was this area in the Palisades, I want to say. Yeah, it's in the Palisades.
Okay, so maybe
Very
it was-
affluent. You didn't hear about this as a
Isn't
kid?
that Temecula up in Temecula Canyon?
Maybe.
There's a canyon.
But there's like now people go up there and graffiti stuff. There's a few structures left. But basically what happened is that this family fell in with this guy, kind of a Rasputin type, who claimed to have, spiritual connections and sort of mystic qualities to heal them. And I think he had done something to help their ailing son or daughter. And as a result of that, they were like trusted this man with their lives. And so they're like, come live with us. Like, you clearly have a connection to the spirit world. We need you as an advisor. And he was telling them to build these structures. Like, you need to build a big estate and you need to have this bunker and this size thing. And so they were kind of in this like building frenzy in the early 40s, but they never finished it.
House.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit. They kind of got a little diluted. And I think it was the wife of the family was kind of distraught. And anyway, interesting saga. But over the years, because it got abandoned, this urban legend grew of it having been built as a bunker for Nazis fleeing Europe to come here and stay and have a sympathetic whatever.
Yes.
So it's fascinating how, the urban legend of that is actually way more interesting.
A vacuum
So,
will suck in whatever narrative fits the size.
100%. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's a good way of putting it. But it's in the Palisades. So I was a little surprised you
Well,
hadn't
I
heard
know
about
there was
it.
some sort of
Yeah.
retreat up in Temescal Canyon, and
Yeah. Did you ever do any of that when you were like in high school? Go exploring in like weird parts
I
of
remember
LA
we
or
went. It
canyons
was after
and-
Helter Skelter came out, the
Yeah.
book, and we all drove up to the Manson houses and
Really?
scared the shit out of ourselves. Yeah,
Was that
everybody
would
was
have been
reading
right
that
after?
at the time. Not much after. Yeah,
Jeez, really?
yeah. The book had come out. It was a hot paperback at the time, and we were all reading it.
That's crazy.
It was weird, yeah.
Well, at that point, was the Tate Polanski home still there on Cielo Drive?
Yeah.
Because that eventually got demolished, and
yeah,
I just think the bad energy.
They were then.
Crazy. Yeah, no, LA has very layered and multifaceted history that, some of this we should probably save or at least recycle for our Halloween episode, because we can revisit some of these topics.
Well,
or just go to the actual places.
Yeah, and shoot some stuff.
There was also notoriously an area up in Santa Clarita where we grew up in San Francisco Canyon.
You grew up.
Sorry, by we, I meant me, Colin, and Claire.
Yes.
And
shout out to Colin and Claire.
Shout out to Colin and Claire.
Colin is going to come on the podcast. We've said this so many times.
He will eventually.
It's like,
should we call him?
I think we should.
Do you want me to call him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get him on because we've said this 1,000 times. We're going to talk about Star Wars and Disney shit.
I'll call him.
He's not going to pick up.
He's not going to pick up.
But it's worth trying. I love that you have the same photograph that I do for him.
I think it was like his contact.
Oh, I want to change it then. I like to pick my own.
He's
he's not picking up. We'll get him. Yeah.
Hello?
Oh.
Hey, buddy.
Dude. You're on Timecode
You're
Cowboys.
on Timecode Cowboys right now. We're talking about Man versus Man. I just quickly wanted to get your memories about Man versus Man.
I was just there a couple weeks ago.
You went there? Oh, yeah. You and Denisa went, right?
Yeah. It still stands unchanged.
Unchanged by human hands.
Lawless.
Yeah. We were saying how...
Lawless.
Yeah, it's creepy because it had all this like lore and backstory to it. And
by the way, this does not count as you being on the podcast, okay?
no, yeah, you still got to come on the pod. That's mainly why we called.
Doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. I know.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I was actually recently driving through there when we went to Mammoth. I drove that way to get up into the desert instead of going up to 14.
All right.
Which was pretty during the day, but then when I came back at night, it was terrifying.
Well, yeah, there's no light, right? Yeah.
It's pitch black, and so you have to have your brights on, and then it has like these rolling hills, so cars come out of nowhere up like over the hill. Like,
right. And not too far from there, or it's even further than where the St. Francis Dam was, right? Like Man versus Man is even further up there.
The St. Francis Dam is a little further north than it.
Crazy.
I can't say for sure.
They're going to have to explain what Man versus Man is.
Right. Oh, so yeah, that's mainly why I wanted to call you because our friend Andy claims that he coined the term Man versus Man. I don't know if that's true, and I just always heard it referred to that way. Yeah. But I was calling to see if you had any more insight.
Santa Clarita urban legend.
Yeah.
Someone spray painted it on the driveway. Like on the driveway, there was a bunch of just like, well, there's graffiti everywhere. But one of the tags in the walkway up to it said Man versus Man. I don't know if that came before or after.
Maybe Andy spray painted that.
Maybe. Well, yeah.
I doubt it.
I don't think he was tagging.
Not.
It is
back
a weird
then.
name.
It is.
It is.
It's kind of like your movie Devil versus Detective.
Oh yeah, a classic. We gotta get that on the pod.
I think we should talk about that when we have you on.
What did you say, Call?
Do you remember the quote unquote abandoned movie set that just wasn't abandoned?
Yes, it was fully functioning. But we would drive up there thinking it was, I guess it's part of the Disney Ranch, right? I think that area.
I think so.
Off Copper Hill. Yeah. Well, because that's the thing.
I remember one time Lauren and a bunch of us went out there and we got in and it was like wrecked. Like every window was smashed and it was trashed. Like it had been like completely like turned upside down. And we thought it was because it was abandoned. And then the next day, The Signal wrote an article.
They were shooting
about
something.
How the police found out that a bunch of kids broke in and vandalized it and like caused all this damage. And we had just happened to be there the following night in between when the cops found it. So there was like, we could have easily had just been
they would have thought, oh, you came back for the scene of the crime.
There was a period of time there, Colin, where I think you, me, Ben, Lauren, and Chandler Patton were like just doing these like ghost hunter expeditions. Do you remember like we would go to like drive places to scare ourselves?
Clearly a deep dive into my kid's childhood.
And there was like a rumor that the guy who lived in Mentorville would chase after you with a shotgun. If you
we're like, let's do it. This sounds fun. It's like this, like,
hey, Mentorville,
scaring ourselves and driving into.
There will be blood.
Yeah, Mentorville, there will be blood. Yeah. Well, we really just wanted to hear your voice and check in with you and
kind of nudge you. You got to get on this thing, man.
We'll
got to
figure
do
out
our
a time.
Star Wars / Disney episode.
I know it's long overdue.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a time though. But anyway, thank you for your insight.
I think we should do an episode that's best rides based off of movies.
Well, that'll be part of it. We've got an hour to chat. So.
You have to open up the funnel so it's past and present. And, like rides that have since been demolished and so
yeah, we got to cover them all.
Yeah, because Dad also has some experience from being in Disneyland early days, early Tomorrowland stuff. All right. Well, we love you.
Love you, buddy.
Wait, which one?
All right, love you guys.
Wait, which one?
I Shrunk the Audience.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, what was the one that the Monsanto ride where you got shrunk down?
Oh, that was for a corporation.
Yeah, you had to come out in a tear.
Rides for corporations.
Better living
you,
through
dude.
chemistry.
I love you guys.
Talk to you later.
Bye. He picked up.
He did pick up. That's crazy. He usually.
So he's that's his unofficial.
He usually
debut.
doesn't do that.
He doesn't do. Yeah.
Do your best Ben Kingsley accent from.
Oh, I can't do the Liverpudlian.
You can't.
He nails it. Well, I'm
he
not
does
gonna.
Such a good Liverpudlian.
Yeah, he is segueing back, careening back to Wonder Man. Yeah, Ben Kingsley's so fun and funny. He could be. If anybody hasn't seen Sexy Beast. Speaking of Ben Kingsley, do yourself a favor. But he is so funny in this, too. There's a lot of humor.
He is, yeah. Yeah, he is. He's clearly just relishing in the opportunity to kind of put this thing, turn it on its head a little bit, you know?
What a fun gig.
Again, him and Yahya. Yaha?
They're
Yaha
like
Abdul-Mateen
their
II.
relationship is really...
That guy's fucking great.
Yeah. I was impressed quite a bit.
He's really good.
Really like
he was also in the fourth Matrix. He played like young Morpheus when he's reincarnated or whatever.
So you got me. I didn't see the fourth one.
He's good. But yeah, between that end of the spectrum, watching Wonder Man on Disney Plus, which is, probably the exact nucleus of corporate Hollywood culture, to Sirât, which is very much on the fringes. There's been some interesting stuff lately. So
yeah, it's been I think turned out to be kind of a good year. Not a huge, not in volume, but there's some good films.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens because the Oscars are coming up.
Absolutely.
All these award shows really are kind of meaningless.
They really are. Yeah.
It's just nice. I always love when films that I champion at least get a shout out.
Yes. 100%.
So that's a good thing.
I mean, because if anything, I guess they're meaningless, but in a way they're not. They're quite meaningful for the people that win the awards because that is a guarantee.
But, we know how hard people work on every movie.
True. But,
even the bad ones.
Careers, man. Yeah. You want some stability. You want a certain sort of, insurance policy of like, I'm going to keep getting work. An Oscar definitely doesn't hurt. So,
yeah. Danny's indie film that he's been cutting is almost done, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of final stages, mix stages. So
we'll keep you up to date on that.
And, we're again hitting the road next week, going to spring training.
Yeah, we're off to spring training a week from yesterday.
Yeah.
And a week from today, we're going to be sitting at a ball game, which will be
cool.
fun. And we should have some fun stories. I think maybe we can incorporate that with our favorite baseball movies.
Yes.
Which are few, but there are some good ones.
Yeah, there are some good ones. Bull Durham.
Well, let's not spill
right.
The bean. Yeah,
The
Bull
Natural.
Durham. Yeah. The Natural. Well, we'll talk about that after we do the spring training episode. I think we're probably coming in.
I think we are. We're coming in.
For a landing.
It's a little shy of an hour, which for us,
I think that's okay once in a while.
But
because we are rambling.
I guess we were a little rusty. Kind of had to get.
I know, but we wanted to get back out there and start talking again.
We want to do it more like this, man. This was the dream.
I like it. Bullshit. Doing the best we can. Danny's working, so we bob and weave around people's schedules.
I did get some requests recently from users for us to kind of explore more films we haven't seen together, like watching things for the first time.
Yeah, I miss doing that, or even rewatching
stuff
something
that's a little
because we
left
come
to
in
center
hot with a lot of ideas.
Yeah, and we wear our preferences on our sleeve. Like there's no mistaking that we're big fans of 70s cinema and I guess what are largely considered guys movies. So we can expand the remit a bit. I think we could start watching some stuff.
I think maybe. Well, we got baseball coming up because we're going to spring training. That'll probably be next. And then if we don't get Colin, why don't we kind of go back to picking a film, maybe one we haven't seen. We'll watch it together.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about it.
I like that,
and we'll find out weird shit about it, and then talk about that.
Yeah, doing something that kind of challenges maybe our own sort of notion of like what is canon, so anyway,
stay tuned. I think is about.
Do we have the whip or no? It doesn't.
We don't have the whip, but we're going to put it on there. But I do have a whip, so watch this. I'm going to go like this.